So with the Spade Kingdom War arc against the Dark Triad, Tabata is making this in a way where week to week the chapters are becoming more and more interesting, this arc in general, mainly due to the fact of the many reveals we have gotten in this arc. And speaking of reveals, there was a lot of it in chapter 246 that circles around Dante's plan. And with the official release out on Viz Media of chapter 246, we now know the tree that Dante is trying to create, which is the most dangerous thing that can happen in the Black Clover story yet. So today with this chapter analysis video, we are here to break that down. And before we do that, as always, let's talk about the highlights that happened in this chapter. I guess we can start off with how Dante was healing from Yami's new mana zone spell. Dante mentioned that it's unbelievable, who would have thought I had to use this magic? And honestly, I'm not surprised that Dante was able to heal from this, because we've seen small fries compared to Dante, the Dark Disciples. They were able to heal from all of the magic attacks combined from the Golden Dawn, from this black sparkling aura from the Devil's power. And we've seen that this is common between the Dark Triad as well. So if they can do it, it's only common for their leader to have this potential as well. But I will say, from that crazy mana condensed spell from Yami, it's very impressive on Dante's part to be able to heal from that. It makes me think the only way Yami will be able to hurt Dante if he uses his mana zone spell Dark Dimension / Equinox, the same spell he used to hurt the word magic devil Zagreus. Now the interesting thing about this dialogue that Dante mentioned, saying that who would have thought I have to use this magic? You see the symbol of gravity that's on his body, it begins to glow, and Vanessa mentioned that this power is completely different than the one he was just using. This confirms that Dante has two magic attributes, and it makes sense because he has devil power, but he should also have his own magic type before he even made a contract with the devil. So it makes me believe that Dante's base magic is gravity and is amplified when he goes in his devil form. And we do know that devils have their own magic, so he probably only uses the devil magics when he's in situations like this, only when he needs to. With this confirmation, we can go on and say that the whole entire Dark Triad have their own magic, but two magic types because their devil have their own magic as well. And I believe there is some evidence to this because back in chapter 235, we seen that Xenon had bone magic. And I'm calling him Xenon now because the character bio for this character came out a few days ago, and Tabata named him Xenon. So I guess with the official release, we'll have to call him Xenon as well and not Zeno. But who knows, maybe they will still go with Zeno, but we're just gonna go with Xenon now. But Xenon used a bone magic spell, Eternal Fangs, when he was fighting William. And then in chapter 238, when he utterly destroyed Yuno using 55% devil power, we seen a silhouette of his devil. And we've seen that he trapped Yuno inside this cube. Something tells me that this has to be his devil power because this does not look like bone magic at all. You know, I don't want to say that his devil's magic is cube magic. I think that's a little corny, but you know, who knows? Maybe his devil is like Green Lantern. He has like shape magic where he can create shapes out of anything. So, you know, you never know. But I truly believe that I'm not the only one when I seen that panel back in chapter 238. Thought it was very odd for Xenon to create a cube like that and it did not look like bone magic. Again, I don't want to confirm and say that this was not bone magic because who knows, when we see Xenon again and he used that spell and say bone magic, it could be bone magic. But something tells me that Xenon's devil also has his own magic and Xenon will have two types as well, just like Vanica and Magecula. Asta may be the only one that's a devil user that doesn't fall into that category because Asta has no mana, he has no magic. That is why with his anti-magic swords, with the power of the anti-magic devil, he is very compatible with that power. But let's be honest here, Asta would be very powerful if he had two magic types, so who knows if Tabata will imply that in the story. Maybe Asta's power was sealed away, but that's a different topic for a different day. Another interesting thing that happened in this chapter, we get a quick flashback of Dante's past. Dante tells Yami in the Spade Kingdom he was bored with everything and how it was run. Nothing could satisfy his malice. And you see, even as a kid, he was just like this as well. You see that in the small panel that he killed a dog, and then he grows up, sleep with women, but he's still depressed because nothing could satisfy him. You see, even in celebrations, he's the only one that looks miserable. And then you see the next one that he killed and murdered a lot of people. You see the Spade Kingdom is burning in flames, and you see the death of Yuno's father. One thing we do know from the Dark Disciple Gatoroids that Yuno fought is that Yuno's father was a peaceful and benevolent king, but Dante, they joined him because he allowed them to fight. Knowing how Dante is and his personality traits, being in a peaceful kingdom like this, under a peaceful, benevolent ruler where they did not allow them to fight, and also there were just no wars, no battles from what we know, it only ate him inside because nothing could fulfill his malice. This is why Dante is happy, because right after this, he said, Yami, this is where it starts. With your power, you're going to open up a world that is far more magnificent. He tells Yami that he is one of the keys to link this world into the Underworld. He is one of the key connections to make his dream reality. And with this key connections with his dark magic, he will create a magic channel, creating the Tree of Qliphoth. Now, this is something that the Viz translations corrected, because in the fan translations, it said the Tree of the Yggdrasil. Now, the Tree of the Yggdrasil is completely different than the Tree of Qliphoth. The reason why there is no correlations between the two, because the Tree of the Yggdrasil is in Norse mythology and it represents the world tree. The Qliphoth tree is the tree of death. It is the complete opposite of the Jewish Sefirot tree of life. But in order to understand Dante's plan in its entirety, you must understand the Kabbalah tree, which is the tree that is on the panel of this chapter. So, the Kabbalah tree represents Jewish teachings, and also the symbol represents your relationship with God and how God created the universe and everything that was in it. That is why it has Adonai in the middle, which represent God. Now, we've seen this before in Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. You have the Kabbalah tree on the door, and behind the door represents truth, and truth is God in the Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood universe. With this symbol alone in the Black Clover universe, this gives us more evidence that there is a God in the Black Clover story. Which also, with this evidence, Tabata can also introduce angels, because one of the Hebrew words on this symbol is called cherubs, and cherubs represents angels. Now, the reason why we know that cherubs are angels, because describing a cherub or a cherubim is a winged creature and represented as a second highest order of angels. The definition of a cherub means a winged angelic being described in biblical traditions as attending God. In traditional Christian angelology, it is described as an angel of the second highest order. So if Tabata really wanted to, he could introduce angels. We have demons, and there's a lot of references about God in the Black Clover story. So it would be really cool to see this. Now, the Kabbalah is also a representation of the Tree of Sephiroth, and the Tree of Sephiroth are the 10 holy attributes in the Kabbalah. It is called the Tree of Life as well. We've seen this in Black Clover. When Patri put the final magic stone on the monument, he mentioned that this is the Tree of Life and how it will awaken their true powers. It is the exact same symbol of the Tree of Life of Sephiroth. In chapter 182, when David was elf possessed, his elf mentioned that the Shadow Palace is a magic space that acts as a border between this world and the next. Only the apostles of Sephiroth, 10 elves who can receive divine relationships, are the only ones who can open it. Tabata made this in a way where the 10 apostle elves of Sephiroth were a reference of the 10 attributes, the 10 holy attributes of the Sephirothic Tree of Life. But what Dante is trying to create is the Qliphoth Tree. Now, what is the Qliphoth Tree? The Qliphoth Tree consists of 10 spheres in opposition of the Sefirot Tree of Life. The Qliphoth Tree is the evil twin of the Sefirot Tree. It is also the 10 evil attributes on the Kabbalah, and also it can be referred to evil demons of matter and shells of the dead. Long explanation, I know, but that is what Tabata is bringing in the Black Clover story, an evil representation of the Sefirot Tree. We know that the 10 apostles represents the Tree of Life, and Tabata is bringing a light versus dark side here. We're going to see 10 representations of the Tree of Qliphoth. Based on evidence, especially from this chapter, that is what I believe what's going to happen. That is why Dante continued on to talk about that he needed arcane stage mages, dark magic from Yami, and world tree magic from William to connect this world and link it with the Underworld by creating the Tree of Qliphoth. While in the process, this will open up the gates to the Underworld and let demons pour in. This is the dream world for Dante, because he said this world was covered with demons. It would be the perfect place with nothing but malice, because it will be so many demons ruining the whole entire country. You know, not just one country, but the entire continent. It will literally be hell on earth. That is why in this chapter, Yami talks about that he has to stop Dante right here, right now. Towards the end of this chapter, we see that there are dark disciples talking about that there has been a Clover Kingdom spy within the Spade Kingdom. We see the spy is in Dante's room, and he's reading the text, he or she are reading the text of this tree of death, the Qliphoth tree. And we see one of the disciples come in and he gets bodied instantly by a Black Bull member we never seen before, who we can assume it looks like they can use shadow magic. Now, people have made suggestions on Twitter saying that this is Valtos. I truly believe that is not true, because Valtos is a criminal doing community service work. Now, after the 6-month time skip, he probably is done and maybe joined the Black Bulls, because I did make theory videos that I believe that Rady, Sally, and Valtos will join the Black Bulls. Now, I truly do not believe that is the case here, because this person took out a Dark Disciple, and we know that Dark Disciples can use up to 40% of demon powers, and we've seen that Yuno had a tough fight with Gatoroyce, who was a Dark Disciple. I do not believe Valtos even has the power to take down one Dark Disciples, especially not now. I believe that this is the mysterious vice captain of the Black Bulls, or just a new character in its entirety. We've seen that early on in the Black Clover chapters that there is a silhouette of a character that has yet been revealed. And we've seen that Henry was also one of the characters that was in the silhouette, but we have not seen Henry revealed until the Elf arc. Yami talked about when Asta joined the Black Bulls in chapter 4, he told them that we have other members, but they either out on missions, taking breaks, or slacking off. Now, I believe that the ones he said that are slacking off, he was referring to Zora, or the ones that were taking breaks could be Henry, but the ones that are out on missions, I believe that refers to this Black Bull member that we've seen in the end of chapter 246. I think the reason why Yami never mentioned this other Black Bull member is because it's a spy in a different kingdom, and I truly believe that if they were to give up this identity of this spy, it will compromise the mission, it will ruin everything. So I truly believe this is a new member and probably the vice captain, but that's just my thoughts on that. One last thing I would like to bring up that happened in this chapter that was very interesting is how Asta's anti-magic devil was just losing his mind, saying that I won't forgive them, I'll kill them. And it's because he lost to another devil. He lost to Dante with the devil Lucifer, saying you won't get away with this. This is a whole new different side of emotion from the anti-magic devil that we never see in this series at all. And I will make a video of who I think the anti-magic devil is, so be on the lookout for that video. And to wrap things up from here, this is the chapter breakdown, so I hope you guys have a better understanding of the Kabbalah tree and the Tree of Qliphoth that Dante is trying to create. This video was definitely longer than what I expected it to, so if you guys made it this far, you are a real trooper. And if you are new to the channel, subscribe, notification bells on, like this video if you enjoyed it, join my Discord, link in the description, follow me on Twitter, link in the description too. So again, like, subscribe. You guys have an awesome life, take care of yourselves, and I'm out.